Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way around this. This is white privilege. This does not happen for a black man. No experience whatsoever on any level as a coach, and you get the Brooklyn Nets job.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about what you just saw, which was Stephen A. Smith from ESPN referring to white privilege as the reason why Steve Nash became the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA. Now, before I say anything else, I just want to tell you that I like Stephen A. Smith. I've been a fan for many, many years. I appreciate him being over at ESPN because that network is full of SJW, far leftist extremists, Black Lives Matter, Antifa type people, okay? From top to bottom, from just the regular normies on the set to the executives, to Disney, ABC, it's all just really far leftist. I see him as kind of a conservative guy, so I appreciate him in general. I'm a fan. However, that take from him was ridiculous. First things first, let's get to the actual numbers, the facts that nobody can deny. We can get into the opinion and whatnot, and that's fine. But the numbers, nobody can dispute. Since 1978, there have been 16 NBA head coaches that were hired with no prior experience. Of that 16, 8 were black. You had Paul Silas, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Derek Fisher, and a few other guys. I think Doc Rivers was also a coach with no prior experience that was hired who was black, and he won a championship in 2008 with the Boston Celtics. All right. Avery Johnson was hired as a Dallas Mavericks head coach after only 1 year of being an assistant. So he was being set up to be the head coach. All right. Like, it was already pretty much a done deal. And there have been other things like that. So this whole thing about, oh, well, you can't get on if you're a black person and all this and that, it's just not really the case. The facts don't bear it out. And then Stephen A. said, well, if you are hired as a black head coach with no prior experience, then that means you're going to be on a bad team that has nowhere to go, terrible players, just, it's going to be a dead end street. But that's not true. I just said that Doc Rivers actually got a ring in 2008 with the Celtics, and now he's on the Clippers, and they've had very good teams. They've been very competitive, okay? What you got? You got Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. They have a team that can win the championship right now. Now, we're in kind of a bad time with all the virus stuff going on, but if you were in a regular time, they'd be competing for a ring. They are neck and neck with the LA Lakers and Milwaukee Bucks and everybody else, some of the top tier teams in the league. So this whole thing about, oh, they're going to give you a bad team and black guys don't get this is just totally false. Okay, you got guys like Charles Barkley saying that it's not true. Jason Williams, who played in the NBA, had a real bad car wreck. He's saying it's not true. Well, Jay Williams, not Jason Williams, white chocolate, the other Jay Williams. He's saying it's not true. Guys that have played in the league understand that what he's saying is just not really the reality. All right. And then let's look at the Brooklyn Nets and who's on the team. You have two of the best players in the league, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Let's talk about them for a moment so we understand what's happening here and why Steve Nash is even in the mix. Now, Kevin Durant, one of the best basketball players in the National Basketball Association, bar none. All right. 7 foot tall, can do everything. Can run, jump, dunk, shoot outside, inside, whatever you want. Rebound, block shots, pass. He's like arguably better than LeBron James, or right up there with him, basketball-wise. I'm not a LeBron James fan in general. I don't like him personally, but basketball-wise, I mean, you can't deny it. Come on, let's just be real. But anyway, one of the best basketball players in the league requested to go to the Brooklyn Nets to play alongside Kyrie Irving. Okay, they made that team happen. They joined up. Now, normally when talking about sports, you can't just decide where you want to go. That's not really how it works. You got to have some kind of clout, as a cool kid say, to be able to decide where you want to go. All right. They decided, all right, we want to play on the Nets rather than going to the Knicks. They want to be in the big market. They want to be in the team that has a chance to succeed. Go there. Now, if there's going to be a head coach brought in, they're going to have a say in it. They got to sign off on it. If you bring in just some random bum on the street, they're not going to like that. And they have leverage to be able to say, you know what? If you don't bring who we want, we're going to leave. Or we're going to, not, I got to get surgery right now. I got to miss the whole season. My knee hurt, my back hurt. I got to get surgery. I'll miss the whole season. So they have leverage to be able to demand who they want. All right. And Kyrie Irving is a guy that you wouldn't even approach as far as being some type of anti-black or something like that. All right. Kyrie sat out the restart, the bubble, because of all the stuff going on right now with the SJW, with the BLM. He wants to support BLM. And he also donated a bunch of money to the WNBA because a lot of players opted out of the bubble and they don't make much money. You're talking about like 30 or 40 grand for the whole season in the WNBA. So he has like millions of dollars for them because they need money to be able to take care of themselves while not playing basketball. So this guy is not even the guy that you would try to come at and say, you should have demanded a black head coach. It's not even about that. Steve Nash is an excellent player. Let's not forget about that. A Hall of Famer. If he's not already, he most certainly will be soon if he's not. Two-time MVP, like a brilliant guard. He can score, he can pass, he could do everything, all right? One of the best players to do it at that position for his size and his athletic ability. So don't say, oh, he's just white. That's the reason why he became the head coach. Maybe he's a good player. Maybe he's a smart person. Maybe he fits the role. Also, Steve Nash was a consultant on the Golden State Warriors team back when Kevin Durant was there winning rings and whatnot. All right. So Kevin Durant already knows him. Kyrie Irving already knows him. And the GM of the Nets played alongside Steve Nash when he was still in the NBA. So you got relationships. They know you. You're a good player, smart guy. Why not? That's probably who they handpicked. When I say they, I mean Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, two black players, one of whom is a big time, social justice advocate, and Kyrie Irving. So to say that they should have done something to bring in a black head coach is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense at all. All right. And who wants to coach the Brooklyn Nets? Who wants that particular job? Who's going to be the best person that you could pick to do it? They're talking about Mark Jackson and somebody else. Maybe Durant doesn't really know Mark Jackson. Same thing with Kyrie. Maybe they don't know him. I mean, come on. This whole thing about, diversity hiring makes no sense. You're going to hire the best person. And then Stephen A was talking about this is the worst possible thing. The optics are bad. Optics? Like, what does George Floyd got to do with Steve Nash becoming the head coach? Like, you got a guy that got hired for a job, okay? What does that got to do with George Floyd and Jacob Blake? Nothing at all. BLM, nothing at all to do with this. This is just silly. I don't know where this is coming from Stephen A. Smith. I've not heard that. Maybe I've just been kind of blind to who he is, or it could just be a bad take. I think people are allowed to have bad opinions. That's not really, excommunicationable, if that's the word, offense. I'm disappointed at him, really, because like I said, I like Stephen A. I'm still a fan. Hopefully he changes course and doesn't do anything like this anymore. I'll give him a pass. But you're dead wrong, Stephen A. This is totally crazy. All right. Steve Nash, a good guy, well-respected, highly skilled. He's not just some bum on the street. Like, I could see if it was like Mark Madsen, unless he was some type of Phil Jackson, 8 million IQ genius being able to manage people, maybe. But come on, Steve Nash is one of the best basketball players to do it. He had kind of like that Olay defense, but beyond that, he was brilliant. You're talking about John Stockton. You're talking about one of the best. So, this is not the first time it's happened where a guy has no prior head coaching experience and becomes the head coach of a team that has a chance. It's been done before with black players, white players, or whatever. At the end of the day, as I close, what really should matter is how you fit, how the players are going to be able to respond to you. And if you got leverage like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they're going to like you. They have already vetted you, and they're going to sign off on it. Don't just say it's white privilege. This is ridiculous. It's dumb. You could say that maybe about college football, but that's a whole different ball of wax. So I digress. My whole point is that to try and invoke George Floyd, Jacob Blake, and white privilege, it makes no sense. All right. We got to focus on just being skilled, being talented, and letting that speak for us, developing relationships, friendships over many years. All right, like I said, Steve Nash had already known Kevin Durant personally from being a consultant with the Golden State Warriors. That's kind of an assistant coach, but they said he had no prior experience. I digress. My whole point is that Stephen A was wrong, and I think the majority of us that really understand sports and what it's all about would agree. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Stephen A. Smith was right about Steve Nash's hiring being white privilege? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or was he wrong about that? Was it more about the fit? Was it more about relationships? Was it more about Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving knowing them? That makes more sense to me. But you guys know where I stand. This is not white privilege. This is relationships. This is business. This is what makes sense. This is an arrangement between GM, players, and the coach. That's what it is. All right. Bad take from Stephen A. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.